Chapter 19, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the New Deal during the Great Depression. Franklin Delano Roosevelt becomes president in 1932. He grew up in New York. He caught polio and lost the use of his legs as a young adult. He was elected governor of New York in 1928 and helped the unemployed in 1929 in New York get food and necessary supplies to survive during the Great Depression. Roosevelt called his plans to end the Depression the New Deal. And in his first 100 days in office, he passed 15 bills in Congress, declared a bank holiday to close banks and prevent bank runs so that he could shore up the banks, and approved the Emergency Banking Relief Act. He started something called fireside chats. Back in the day, people sat by the radio and listened to the radio because there was no TV or social media. So you would sit by the fire and listen to the radio and listen to the president. In 1933, the Securities Act was passed, and that regulated the stock market, so people felt secure in putting their money back in the stock market again. Also, FDIC insurance was created for banking, and so if you put your money in the bank, it was secure. All of these corporations and acts were created by President Roosevelt and Congress. Some helped homeowners, some helped farmers, some helped people get jobs. The New Deal provided direct relief, set up public works, and restored confidence in banks. The second New Deal, which is the second round of helping people during this time, used deficit spending, which means using borrowed money. So the government for the first time was going into debt. Also at this time, the National Youth Administration was created to provide education and work for young adults. And also the WPA was created to support public works projects, artists, musicians, and such. The Wagner Act, or the National Labor Relations Act, was created this time. It allowed workers to join unions and fought for better wages and working hours. The CIO was one of the first unions, and they helped people. And if there was a problem, they would arrange sit-down strikes, binding arbitration to get workers what they deserved. Eventually, one of the most important plans ever passed during this time was the Townsend Plan, which became known as the Social Security Act, which gave insurance to older citizens after the age of 65 and is still around today. You pay into Social Security through your wages. Roosevelt's second term in office was started in 1936. At one point, he tried to pack the Supreme Court with justices, hoping to get all of his acts passed, but that did not work. In 1937, we did take a short recession where unemployment went back up slightly, but British economists came over and said, we really need to increase government spending, and we need to increase our debt if we're ever going to get out of the Great Depression. And so the government began spending more and taxes were lowered. The last New Deal reforms included the United States Housing Authority, giving loans to builders willing to supply low-income housing, and the Fair Labor Standards Act. The Fair Labor Standards Act is still around today. It abolished child labor, and today you have to have working papers to work. It created the 40-hour work week, and you have to get some kind of extra bonus or incentive or money if you work more than 40 hours a week, and set the first minimum wage ever at 25 cents. Now remember, today's minimum wage federally is $7.25, but in New Jersey right now it is $11. The New Deal gave Americans confidence in their government and a safety net for their future. They felt as if things were going to get better.